guys, Chris Adams here, and I am in the mud hole basement and drop a little push pole knowledge on you guys. So we understand that things happen on the water, things happen in gas station parking lots where people aren't paying attention. Somebody might back into your push pole on the boat. You might get into a situation on the water where you develop a leak or you actually break your push pole. So the great thing about this setup that we've got here, the 21-footer from MHX, is we also have all of the individual parts for you to repair this if you run into one of those situations. So we've got extra ferrules right here, we've got extra forks, tips, points, we've got glue kits that actually come with the push pole when you buy it, but you can also buy all of these individually and separately if something was to happen. So I've got an extra section here and I've got a foot on this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how we can get the fork off in case water gets inside of this thing, or let's say that a section breaks and you want to salvage this fork. You can just pull this fork off and replace the section, or you can come in and ferrule the section up. If it breaks, you can add a ferrule, you can bring it back to life, and you'll be good to go back on the water. So what I'm going to do is I've got this end section. You can see it's an end section because of this extra twill that's on here. So that's why that the fork is on this section. And I'm actually just going to take a heat gun and I'm going to heat this section up around the base of this where the fork goes in. So you can see about how far the fork goes into the push pole here. Maybe 4 or so inches. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the heat gun and you're going to heat up the section here, and I rotate it and heat it a little by little, kind of go through, and then as you have it, it's best to have an extra set of hands, because I would wear gloves as this gets warm, and then what you can do is you can twist and then it'll separate out. So all you're doing is you're breaking down the epoxy that holds this together. Do not go crazy with this. Do not use a blowtorch on this. Don't turn it on its highest setting and just set it on there, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to break down the pole itself. You just want to slowly heat this and then allow that glue to soften, and then you can separate it out. So this is going to take a few minutes, so we'll cut away, and what I'll do is I'm just going to turn this. As I said, I use it on the lowest setting. You can see that right there, and then I'm just going to go up and down like this. And I'm going to rotate it, and what I'll do is I'll go through, heat it up, and then we'll pull it apart and see what it looks like. All right, so we're back, and what I've done is I've gone through and, as I said, used this on the lowest setting, rotated it around, loosened that glue up, and then what I've got is I've got Guffey offset here, and he's going to spin that pole, and then we're going to pull it apart like that. So now what we've got is, you can see where the glue was on this fork like this. All it did was soften up. Remember, this is hot, so be careful. And now we got the foot off, and then we can go through, and if that push pole was broke, if it had a leak in it, something like that, we can go through and we'll be able to fix that pole. We'll be able to, cut it if it was broke, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get all the broken fibers out. So if you want to cut it and you want to re-ferrule it, or if you just need to pull this foot off and reseal it, what you're going to want to do is clean the inside of the pole with some sandpaper and some denatured alcohol. And you also want to do that to this foot if you're going to use this foot again. So if you notice here, it's got dried epoxy all over it. You can actually come in here with like a wire wheel. You can knock this down. You can use sandpaper. All you want to do is you would just want to knock all this off, and then you can actually reuse this fork and you'll be good to go. So those are a few tips if the push pole breaks, if you get a leak in it or something like that. And again, we do sell the forks, the points, the tips, the ferrules, the glue kits, everything you guys need to keep that push pole in working order or bring it back to working order if there was damage to it. So check it out at mudhole.com. Look for that 21-foot push pole. It's a really good one. So thanks guys for watching, and take care.